Let me ask you something. When you think about money, what is the first feeling that comes up? Stress? Guilt? Or maybe a sense that there's never quite enough? Or maybe something more subtle, a belief that people with a lot of money are somehow different from you, less kind, more selfish, that wealth changes people? Because here is what I have noticed. Most of us carry a story about money that we never consciously choose. A story we absorbed from our families, our culture, our experiences. And Harry Potter, in its very first pages, shows us exactly where that story comes from. And then, across 7 books, it quietly dismantles it. Today, we're going to talk about abundance through the lens of the wizarding world. And by the end of this video, I think Harry Potter might just change the way you think about money forever. Are you ready? Welcome, witches, wizards, and magical souls. I solemnly swear that your magic is limitless. So we're going to start with the caricature, because J.K. Rowling doesn't hold back. From the very first chapter of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, we meet the Dursleys. And the Dursleys have money, a lot of it. In the first chapter, we talk about Vernon's new car, their perfectly kept house on Privet Drive, and Dudley, who received 36 birthday presents on the morning of his 11th birthday. And he complains that there are 2 fewer less than last year's. The Dursleys are rich, and Dudley is spoiled. They are, without question, the most unpleasant people in the saga. And then we also meet Draco Malfoy in the first episode. Lucius Malfoy uses his wealth to buy influence at the Ministry of Magic. He bribes officials, he funds corruption, and in the second year, he purchases 7 new broomsticks for the Quidditch team of Slytherin in order to have his son, Draco, be part of the Quidditch team of Slytherin. So the Malfoy family is rich, powerful, and corrupt. Nice. On the other side, we have the Weasleys. They are big-hearted, warm, generous, endlessly welcoming people, and completely, chronically broke. They have hand-me-down robes, second-hand wands, sandwiches wrapped in paper, while the rest of the Hogwarts Express buys every sweet they can on the trolley. So we have this picture where the good guys are poor and the bad guys are rich. The Weasleys versus the Dursleys and the Malfoys. J.K. Rowling herself has said that when she wrote the early Harry Potter books, she was a single mother in genuine financial difficulty, scrapping together enough to care for her daughter, writing in cafes to keep her warm. And that experience is all over the text of the first books. The belief that money corrupts, that wealth and goodness are incompatible, that to be truly generous, you must have almost nothing left to give. It's a very Manichaean story at first, a story that many of us are going to recognize because many of us were raised on the same one. But here is the thing. Harry Potter doesn't end with that story. It starts with it. And then we're going to spend 7 books quietly, powerfully proving it wrong. And Harry is the perfect example to shift the beliefs. Because Harry Potter is rich. From the moment he steps into Gringotts for the first time and sees the vault his parents left him, full of gold coins, gleaming in the torchlight, Harry has more money than he has ever imagined. And, let's say it, he is, without question, one of the most generous, kindest, most integrity-filled characters in the entire saga. So how does that work? How does Harry break the rich equal evil equation that the wizarding world seems to take for granted at first? Well, I believe it comes down to 3 different things. 3 keys that Harry demonstrates consistently across all the 7 books that show what a truly abundant relationship with money looks like. These are gratitude, generosity, and integrity. Let's take them one by one. First key, gratitude. Harry spends the first 11 years of his life in a cupboard under the stairs. Literally a cupboard under the stairs, with a small bed camp and a small collection of broken things the Dursleys didn't want anymore, as his personal belongings. So when Hagrid enters his life, when abundance enters his life, he experiences it with a sense of wonder that most of us have completely forgotten. On the Hogwarts Express, for the first time of his life, he has money in his pocket, his own money that he can spend. And he buys everything off the trolley. Well, take the lot. He buys every flavor of every flavor bean. He buys pumpkin pasties, chocolate frogs, and he shares it all with Ron, who has never been able to afford more than a few sad sandwiches. And then, for his first Christmas at Hogwarts, Harry wakes up with a pile of presents at the foot of his bed. This is his first real Christmas presents. Ever. He doesn't rip them open carelessly. He sits there and stares at them first. This small pile of package that other children might take completely for granted, while Harry looks at them like they are the most extraordinary things he has ever seen. Because for him, they are this extraordinary thing. And this is the first key to abundance: gratitude. Not the I should be grateful, but the genuine, cellular recognition that what you have is already remarkable. Harry never stopped seeing the wonder in the ordinary things, because he had known what it was to have nothing. And that perspective, the ability to receive with open hands and an open heart, is one of the rarest and most powerful qualities a person can have. When you see abundance everywhere, even in small things, like a good meal, a warm house, a person who really sees you, then you send a signal to yourself and to the universe and to the people around you. The signal is, I am someone who receives well. And that changes everything because the universe is going to send you even more of that. Second key is generosity. And this gets very interesting because abundance isn't just about receiving. It's a cycle, energy flowing in and energy flowing out. And Harry is as extraordinary at giving as he is as receiving. In Goblet of Fire, at the Quidditch World Cup, Harry buys omniculars, the magical binoculars that let you replay the match. You can see this just in the books. He buys them for himself, but also for Ron and Hermione, and they are very expensive. Ron can't afford them. Harry buys 3 of them without hesitation, barely thinking about it. And what is Ron's response? He is mortified. He says that it will count as his Christmas present for the next 10 years. He doesn't know where to look. He wants to give it back. And this moment is also very revealing, because we see 2 completely different relationships with money in the same instant. Harry gives freely, joyfully, without keeping score. And Ron is receiving with guilt, with debt, with discomfort. And the difference isn't about how much money they have each. It's about the energy they bring to the exchange. But the most powerful example of Harry's generosity, the one that changes everything, happens at the end of the Goblet of Fire. Harry wins the Triwizard Tournament, and he wins 1,000 galleons. This is a huge sum. And he actually gives it away, all of it, to Fred and George Weasley, so that they can finally open that joke shop that they have been so eager to do, dreaming for years. Fred and George's first reaction is, we can't take this, it's too much, you need it. And then Harry insists, because he doesn't want it. He wants them to use it. And here is the moment I find the most beautiful in the entire saga about the relationship with money. Fred and George say yes to this amount of money. Unlike the rest of the family, who spend the entire series refusing Harry's generosity, feeling indebted, uncomfortable, unable to receive, Fred and George simply say yes. Thank you, Harry. We're going to use it well. We're going to have a good purpose with it. And what happens next? Weasley's Wizard Whizzes becomes one of the most successful businesses in Diagon Alley. A thriving, joyful, widely creative enterprise that brings laughter to a world that desperately needs it. Because they said yes. And the cycle of abundance only works when both sides are open. When you can give freely and receive freely. Without guilt, without debt, without the story that says that you don't deserve it. Fred and George cracked the code that the rest of their family never could. And you can too! Let's move on to the third key. The third key is perhaps the most important of all, because Harry, by the time we reach Half-Blood Prince, is not just wealthy. He is also the most famous wizard of his generation. His name opens doors. His endorsement would be worth more than gold to anyone who can get it. And the Minister for Magic comes to him personally to ask Harry to publicly support the ministry, to use his influence, his fame, his name, to make people feel safe. And Harry says no. He doesn't say no because he doesn't care about people feeling safe, but he says no because he knows that the ministry is wrong. He knows that Voldemort has returned, and the ministry is pretending that they act, but they don't actually act. And he refuses to lend his name to something that isn't true, that he doesn't approve. He has everything he would need to corrupt: the wealth, the fame, the access, the power, but Harry chooses integrity every single time. And this is what Harry Potter ultimately shows us about money and abundance. Money and abundance don't change you, they don't change who you are, but it amplifies who you already are. If you are generous before you have money, you will be generous when you have it. If you are fearful about money now, more of it won't fix that fear. If your values are freedom, creativity, love, service, abundance will simply give those values a larger stage. Because, let's be honest, the Dursleys were unkind before they were rich. The Malfoys were ambitious and self-serving before Lucius bought his way into the ministry. And Harry was grateful, generous, and integrity-filled before he even set foot in Gringotts. Money is just revealing what is inside of them. It didn't create them. So now, let's bring this home for you. I want to invite you to look at your relationship with abundance through these lenses. Gratitude. Where in your life are you walking past abundance without seeing it? What do you already have that, if you stopped and really felt it, would fill you with genuine wonder? Start there, even with the smaller things. Then, generosity. Are you in the cycle, genuinely both giving and receiving? Or are you like Ron, generous with others, but unable to let abundance come back to you without guilt? Where do you need to say yes, thank you, I receive this? And then integrity. What is your deepest belief about money? Is it that it corrupts? That you can't be good and wealthy? That there isn't enough for everyone? And is that belief actually yours? Or did you inherit it from someone else? Because here is what Harry Potter shows us across the 7 books. It is absolutely possible to be abundant and kind, wealthy and generous, successful and fully yourself. The old story that money is the root of evil, that good people stay poor, that wealth inevitably corrupts, this is just a boggart. So if you need it, just go back to the boggart videos. You know what we do with boggart. We look at them directly and we find what's underneath them. And we laugh, gently, kindly, at the power we gave them. And then, ridiculous! So let's sum this up. Harry Potter started in a cupboard under the stairs. He ended as one of the wealthiest, most beloved, most integrity-filled figures in the wizarding world. Money didn't change him, because he was always this person, and abundance simply gave him more room to be it. That is the invitation for you today. Not to chase money, but to heal your relationship with it. To open the cycle of giving and receiving, and to ask yourself, what kind of abundant person do I want to be? Because abundance, at its heart, is not about how much you have. It's about how freely it moves through you. So please leave me a comment below. I want to know, which of these 3 keys resonates the most with you right now? Is it gratitude, generosity, or integrity? And what is one small shift you could make this week? I am Alice, and I will see you next week in the next video. And until next time, remember, the wand chooses the wizard, but you chooses everything else. May your choices be your magic.